Hello friends, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. It's good to see you on the mat again. Today we have an energizing morning, beginner friendly, all level friendly sequence for you. So we get the body moving, get the blood flowing, find some stretch, use our balance. We peak in a balancing posture to challenge us a little bit in the morning and get us ready, feeling strong and capable for the rest of our day. So whenever you're ready, grab your mat and we can get started. So we start today in easy seat, Sukhasana, crossed at the ankles, rooting down through the sit bones, pulling up through the crown of the head, feeling that line of energy flowing throughout us. Bringing hands to heart center, maybe closing the eyes, setting an intention for this practice, as well as for our whole day. Breathing deeply through the belly. One deep breath. Then releasing the hands, taking fingertips to shoulders. Inhale, reach the elbows out in front. Then bring them up and around, depressing the shoulders down on the exhale. Making these movements big circles. Beautiful. Just bringing our awareness to our upper back, our shoulders. Inhale to lift the elbows. Exhale, send them back around. One more time. Beautiful. Then releasing the hands, bringing them in front of the chest, interlacing the fingers, pressing palms forward, rounding through the back. Taking a few breaths here. Really finding space between the scapula. Tucking the chin into the chest. Active in the arms, sending energy out through the palms. Then inhale, lift the chest, take the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, and pull the hands down through the mat energetically, lifting through the chest. Finding space for our heart center here, opening up for the day, breathing nice and deep. One more deep breath. And then release the fingers slowly, carefully. Bringing the left arm underneath the right. Bringing that right arm across the chest. Finding a nice shoulder stretch. Depressing the shoulders down, not hugging them up by the ears, but nice and open, just opening through the front. One more breath. And then exhale, release, shake it on out, and switch sides. Bringing the left arm across the chest. One more deep breath, always returning to the breath. Exhale, release. Coming onto all fours, finding our tabletop pose. Spreading wide through the fingers, grounding through the tops of the feet. And then instead of a traditional cat-cow, we're going to make it a little funky here today. So inhale, scoop down the belly, bring up the chest, then send the hips back. And exhale, round. Inhale, send the hips back. We find any movement that feels good with this. Play around with it. Just rounding through the exhales and scooping forward on the inhales. Playing around, exploring how this feels in our body. Exploring how it feels in the rib cage, in the hips, in the wrists, gripping with the mat, gripping with the fingers through the mat. One more big round like this. Find your creativity, find your fun. And then meet back in neutral spine, tucking the toes, walking the hands out in front, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet, waking up the calves. Sending the crown of the head down energetically in between the hands. The hips are up. We have a nice, beautiful, long spine. And we're opening up through the backs of the legs, finding length there as well. Pulling the heels down into a static downward facing dog. Then gazing at the hands, gently make your way to the tippy top of the mat and exhale to forward fold. You can keep a bend in the knees here if we need to. Inhale, halfway lift to reach through the crown of the head. Hold here for a breath or two. Finding release in this pose, reaching through the crown, gazing a little bit in front of your feet. Really sending the hips up, waking up the hamstrings. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come above the head, big reach. And exhale to heart center. Taking a moment here to check in with how you're feeling this morning. Bending the knees a little bit, tucking in the pelvis, finding our mountain pose, our steady, strong mountain pose. Before preparing for a sun salutation A, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, flat back, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Stepping back into plank pose. Tucking the elbows in by the sides to slowly lower down with controlled chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog, sending the hips up. Finding our static downward facing dog, grounding through the left foot, reaching the right leg up, three-legged dog. Bending the knee, stacking the hips, opening up, sending that right foot to the wall. Flexing it, using your energy here, pushing open. Pushing away from the mat with the hands. One more breath here. Exhale, three-legged dog, squaring the hips. Then bending the knee, bringing it up into the chest, high, high, high. Before releasing into low lunge, dropping the back leg. Inhale, arms come above the head. Interlacing the fingers, pointer finger reaches out in front. Rolling the shoulders back. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, slightly take a back bend here, just helping to send the hips down into the mat. Feeling the opening. One more breath here. And then releasing the hands, grabbing onto the left wrist and taking it over to the side body. Gazing slightly down, maybe at the hips or at the ground to the side. Keeping the chest nice and lifted. One more breath. Inhale back up to center, bringing the hands to the heart. And taking a twist, left elbow comes to the outside of the knee. Keeping the chest lifted here, using that oppositional force to help you twist and open up just a little bit more. Beautiful. Exhale, release the left hand to the mat, kicking that back ankle up and pulling it into the hips, quadricep stretch. Nice and active here and open. Exhale, pull the ankle in just a little bit more. Finding that spot that feels good. And lovingly release. Frame the foot. Send the hips back. Exhale, half splits. Flexing that right foot. Inhale, lift the chest up. Maybe come up onto the fingertips. And then exhale, slowly fold forward. Keeping a nice, neutral, flat spine. One more deep breath here. And then shifting the weight back onto the right foot. Coming into plank pose. Nice and strong. Maybe we do a little extra push-up here, a challenge. Forehead meets mat. And press back up, using the core. Rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Preparing the left side. Grounding through the right foot, reaching the left leg up. Nice and strong. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, and send that foot to the other side of the room. Taking a few breaths here, releasing tension in the shoulders, gripping through the mat. Exhale, three-legged dog, squaring the hips, bringing that knee up high into the chest, and releasing low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, making sure our knee is in line with our ankle before we extend the pointer finger up. And exhale, taking a slight little back bend. Nothing fancy, just feeling good. Remembering to breathe. If we can't properly breathe, we've gone a little bit too far. We can always dial it back a little bit. One more nice breath here. Rolling the shoulders down and back. And then releasing, taking hold of the right wrist and bending to the left. Beautiful. Release, back up to center, and hands come to heart center. We take our twist, opening up to the side of the room, maybe gazing behind us. If that feels good, still bringing our awareness to our hips, our hip flexors. And exhale, planting the right hand on the inside of the foot, reaching back for the left ankle. Not forcing anything. Just finding what feels good in all of these movements. What feels good to your body today. One more breath. Bring it a little bit closer. And then exhale to release. Framing the left foot and sending the hips back, half splits. Inhale, find length, lift the chest, send it open, we're forward, we're open. And exhale, find a little bit of a forward fold. Sending love to the hamstrings. Inhale to lift, and exhale to fold. One more big breath here. Then we're going to walk the fingertips up, coming onto that left foot, tucking the toes, and this time stepping up to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale to chair pose, keeping the feet hip distance apart. Arms are raised. Roll the shoulders down and back. Send the hips down. Toes maybe come up, so we ensure that we're grounding through the feet. Breathing here, nice and strong. One deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And then we challenge ourselves here, shifting our weight to our right foot. Bring those toes down if you had them lifted. Taking the left leg up, wrapping it around the right, coming into eagle pose. Doing the same with the arms, moving slowly, carefully, finding your focus point. Breathing, using your breath as a tool to help you. Holding. If we like, we can try an extra challenge, slowly taking our elbows to our knees. If we can tap it and lift back up, the choice is yours, my friend. If you want to challenge yourself a bit extra this morning, reaching back up, taking your time, and exhale, unravel the arms, unravel the legs, and fold forward, rain everything down. Shake it out. Do a little bit of shake out time. Exhale, forward fold, finding static. Inhale, reach the arms up, chair pose. Preparing to do the other side. One breath here. Then shift your weight to the left foot, wrapping the right leg around. Noticing the difference in your sides. Maybe one side is more open, maybe we have better balance on one side, or maybe just in comparison to yesterday's level of balance. Where are you at today? Not judging any of these answers, but just observing. Maybe challenging ourselves, doing a little balancing action here, trying to tap the knees with the elbows, and then slowly coming back up, embracing any falls, any wiggles, wobbles. It's all part of the process. And exhale, unravel everything. Forward fold. And when we meet back and forward fold, plant the left hand, bend the left knee, reach that right arm up. Taking a little twist. Maybe bringing that right arm forward and back, noticing how that feels in the shoulder joint. Moving it around, exploring, getting to know your body. Exhale, release it back to the mat. Switching sides, bending the right knee, reaching the left arm up. Beautiful. Coming back to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, gently step onto the knees. Coming into child's pose, taking a rest here. Arms come by the sides, forehead comes down. We simply just let everything go. Taking a moment here to surrender, to notice your breath. Notice the blood flowing through you, your energy, your alive and strong energy. One more big breath here. And on your next inhale, gently raising the head and the chest, going to sit on the heels, finding one more little twist. The left hand finds the right knee, right hand maybe finds the mat. We just open and breathe. Coming back through center gently and twisting to the left. Maybe slowing down our heart rate now. Our breathing starts to come back to normal. We don't force anything here. It's not what we're about. Coming back through center, taking the hands behind us for a little ankle stretch. If this is too intense, don't do it. It is kind of intense, just leaning back on the hands, lifting the knees, finding that spot where we feel the stretch on the top of the foot, all the way through the ankle. Only one breath here, nothing too wild, nothing too crazy. Then we can let the knees back down and counter that by tucking the toes, coming up onto the balls of the feet, maybe rocking a little side to side. We're going to end a little differently today. This will be our final pose. So inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, palms meet and come to heart center. And now I invite you to come back to your intention for the practice or for your day, if you made one. And just reflect on it, on your practice. Notice how you feel now versus before we began. And just take one moment of silence. Breathing, noticing the breath, not thinking about what you have to do today or what you did before, but just finding gratitude for moving your body this morning and finding your practice yet again. And whenever we're ready, we can gently release the toes if we haven't already. Come onto the knees. And I thank you for joining me in this practice today. I hope you feel energized and ready to grab this day by the reins. You can do whatever you set your mind to. I look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon. Have a great day. Namaste.